Have you been procrastinating, delaying the things you know you should be doing? Are you struggling to remain consistent? We'll be covering all this and more in today's video as we dive deeper into the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. And we'll be utilizing that book to answer these questions and more in today's video. Let's dive in. So we're going to start with chapter 13 today. We've dove into the other chapters of the book in previous videos. So if you haven't checked those out yet, definitely go back and look at those when you're done with this video, or look into the next video. There's a total of 5 videos covering a wide variety of topics and utilizing the book Atomic Habits to cover those topics. So here we are, chapter 13, page 163. The truth is, a habit must be established before it can be improved. If you can't learn the basic skill of showing up, then you have little hope of mastering the finer details. Instead of trying to engineer a perfect habit from the start, do the easy thing on a more consistent basis. You have to standardize before you optimize. And so what this quote here is talking about, what this chapter is talking about in Atomic Habits, and tying into procrastination, is maybe you're procrastinating because your goals are too large. Maybe you need to celebrate those small victories and dial it down a bit. So what is one small thing you can do to move forward that will move the needle forward? Just one little small little thing. Let's say you're trying to write a book, for example, or write a blog, or write something, right? And maybe the thought of like doing that whole big thing, whether it's a blog, whether it's a book, whether it's a homework assignment for a college course, for an English college course, whatever it may be, maybe it's too daunting to feel like, oh, I have X amount of pages I need to write. I have this whole thing I need to write, but looking maybe too big picture is just way too large. Then you don't want to necessarily take those big action steps. So how do you get yourself moving forward? How do you get yourself to actually start taking those little baby steps to move forward? Is narrow the focus. Just one bite at a time, okay? Just always thinking one bite at a time. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You don't eat an elephant all at once, right? You're not going to want to either. It's just too large, too big. Too much going on. But you finish the elephant by one bite at a time. So always remember that, one bite at a time. When you feel like it's just too large, something too large to want to take action on something, maybe just need to zoom out a little bit. And figure out what's that one little baby step to help move me forward. In this case, if I'm trying to write something, maybe it's writing one sentence. Boom! Small victory, right? Small victory. I did something. I didn't procrastinate today. It was a smaller, achievable goal that I was willing to do. It's just one sentence. Now, of course, maybe you should expand upon that, but that's one place where you can start at, right? One sentence a day. Because if you just commit to one sentence, chances are you'll want to then write a few sentences, right? You're not just going to stop at one sentence. Like, you're not just going to say, oh, I'm just going to have one chip. Typically, you have more than one chip, right? When you're digging into a bag of chips, it's never just one, or if you're digging into one bag of Oreos, oh, I'm just going to have one. It's typically more than one, right? Yeah. So if you're going to commit to one sentence, typically you're probably going to, in the moment, be like, well, I can't just finish there. Now I have this next thought, and this next thought, and this next thought, and I'm going to continue that and continue that. Whatever it may be, that's probably what will happen. But it's good to start off with something small, one sentence a day. Let's commit to that. Small victory. Yes, let's do this. I didn't procrastinate. Now I'm gaining more confidence in myself, and my self-image is is increasing, and I'm feeling better about myself because I'm not procrastinating anymore, because now I have smaller achievable goals that is moving me forward, moving the needle forward, because instead of doing nothing, I'm at least doing something, even if it's just one sentence a day. Even better, one paragraph a day, right? So just think about that. Now, the next chapter, chapter 14, page 172. The best way to break a bad habit is to make it impractical to do. Increase the friction until you don't even have the option to act. And so what this is touching on here is, maybe there's your phone, for example, that's just keeping you away from the things you need to do. And that is your bad habit, clicking on TikTok or Instagram or YouTube, and consuming information and consuming entertainment rather than trying to produce something, whether it's a book, like we were touched on just previously here, or if you're trying to create a video, putting out that video and creating that video. We need to start thinking creation, doing the things you need to do to move the needle forward, right? So if it's, say, your phone that's the bad habit that you need to eliminate, you need to increase the friction. And one way to do that is put your phone in a completely different room. Like where it's maybe upstairs somewhere, or several feet away through multiple doors to try to get to, or whatever it may be. Then it's just you in a room, no technology around you that is going to tempt you to fall into those bad habits, right? So you can start working on strengthening the habits that are going to so that you can start increasing the level of good habits that you need, the habits that are going to serve you moving forward rather than disserve you moving forward, right? Is this habit serving me or not serving me? I have this big, ambitious goal right now that I really want to achieve for myself, for others, for my family, for my friends, for my dog, whatever it is, right? And so now I need to change things, take a look at things. What is serving me? What is not serving me? So if social media is that bad habit that's no longer serving me, that's taking me away, taking all my time away to be able to do the thing I need to do, well, then I need to increase the friction of having access to that social media during blocked out session times to do the thing I need to do. Write a book, create that video, research, whatever it is, right? Now let's get into the next chapter, chapter 15, page 191. Reinforcement ties your habit to an immediate reward, which makes it satisfying when you finish. Immediate reinforcement can be especially helpful when dealing with habits of avoidance, which are behaviors you want to stop doing. And so immediate reinforcement, just like training a dog, giving the dog a treat when the dog does what you want the dog to do, right? And it's the same thing in terms of trying to build those habits that are going to start serving you to move you in the direction you want to go. Where you're headed and going in the next 3 to 5 years, at that end point, where do you want to go? Thinking of that, what is going to move you forward? What are the things you need to do? Maybe it's write that book. Maybe it's write that paragraph. Maybe it's write that sentence, for example. Maybe it's create that video. Maybe it's doing the research you need to do to write that book, to write that blog. Thinking of what immediate reinforcements can take place for that. Maybe coffee is your jam, And so maybe when you are in creation mode, have some coffee. Have that cup of coffee next to you. You write a sentence, take a sip of coffee, immediate reinforcement, right? Tie it into where I only have coffee when I'm in creation mode. So it's that reinforcement. Kind of like when the dog eventually picks up a nose and understands that, oh, when I go outside and I let it all out outside rather than in the house, I know I'm going to get that treat, right? It's the same thing. Now tie it back into creation mode. If you're wanting to create something to move your forward, to create better results in life. And so now tie it back into yourself. So now when you're in creation mode and you love coffee, make sure that now moving forward, you only drink coffee when you're in creation mode, right? So you have your cup of coffee, you're in creation mode, you're writing a sentence. After each sentence, you take a sip of coffee. Immediate reinforcement, right? You're rewarding yourself for doing the thing you need to do by creating actionable steps to move yourself forward. Maybe it's you write a paragraph, then you take a sip. So it's that immediate reinforcement to move yourself forward, whatever it may be. It could be anything, but think of something. But this is just an excellent example to think about, like, well, okay, yeah, that's awesome. Then, because if coffee is your jam, that's what you like and that's what you look forward to, that's something you really look forward to, then you're going to start looking forward to creation days, right? Because if you're tying into, okay, moving forward, I'm only restricting myself to coffee on creation days, then you're going to want to have more and more creation days so you can have more and more of that pleasurable experience with coffee, for example. So there's things you need to do, like structures, boundaries within your life moving forward, to help you do the things you need to do to move yourself forward, to achieve the thing you want to achieve in the next 3 to 5 years, 3 to 5 months, whatever it is, right? So just thinking smarter, unlocking the secrets that are going to help move you forward, right? And maybe that's an amazing secret for you, like, yes! And so just thinking smarter, unlocking those aha moments of like, yes, I never thought about that. Let's do that. That's definitely going to help me. And now finally, chapter 16, page 201. The breaking of a habit doesn't matter if the reclaiming of it is fast. I think this principle is so important that I'll stick to it even if I can't do a habit as well or as completely as I would like. Too often we fall into an all or nothing cycle with our habits. The problem is not slipping up. The problem is thinking that if you can't do something perfectly, then you shouldn't do it at all. If you don't realize how valuable it is to just show up on your bad or busy days, lost days hurt you more than successful days help you. And so what is this saying? So this is tying into consistency, the importance of consistency, of always showing up day after day, doing the thing you need to do, whatever that is for you, is so important. Even if it's imperfect, even if it's where you're just shy of like really achieving that daily goal, but you still committed, right? That's still a victory for you. Still celebrate that victory because at least you still did something, right? Rather than nothing. Because any day you do nothing is a vote for the thing that's not serving you, which is procrastination, which is inconsistency. It's important to remain consistent. Show yourself that you can remain consistent. Show others that you can remain consistent. Because that's you building trust with yourself. That's you building trust with others, right? If you remain consistent. If you're always showing up for yourself, You're proving to yourself, hey, I'm someone who is consistent. Not only that, you're proving to others that you are consistent. You're always consistent. That you can be counted on to always show up. And that there's never any thought in the back of their mind that, is this person really going to show up for me? Is this person really going to do what they say? So important to remain consistent. Not only with yourself, but with others. Anytime you choose to not be consistent, it's a knock on your self-image, a knock on your confidence. Those are things that you do not want to do, because suddenly then you start veering off the rails. And it's so easy to do that. It doesn't need to be perfect. Life isn't perfect. Life happens every single day. Stuff is going to happen, right? But as you reflect on each day, did I do something to move the needle? Yes. Was I just shy of my daily goal, whatever that was? Maybe it was to write a paragraph, but I only wrote a sentence. I still did something, right? So still celebrate that victory. At least I didn't do nothing. It doesn't, but keep in mind that doesn't now let you have an excuse of like, okay, now I'm setting a commitment every day to write a paragraph, but then suddenly you get in the habit of only doing one sentence a day. Now that's when you start coming to yourself and being like, oh, okay. Now you need to start having a talk with yourself, being like, okay, maybe I should start actually rising to the occasion here and fully commit most of the time. Like, do your best to get all the way to your daily goal. But you got this. You can totally do it. Totally believe in you. Stop procrastinating. Start getting consistent. Let's do this. See you in the next video.